Okay. Hey Jim, do you go on YouTube for anything?
Try it again.
Uh, YouTube, yeah. You said you had to try it again, or you want me to say that again?
Say again what you said.
Uh,
Yes.
have you got onto the YouTube yet so you can see this?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
All right. Okay, just checking. I gotta line up the camera a little bit better. I gotta put the radio down for a second, but I'm standing right here. N8XLQ.
Yeah, you can stand there if you want to. I'm right back in my recliner.
Mm.
And if you are in the sound of my voice while you're in the right place.
good, Tom? Good to hear you this morning. Thank you for checking in. Anyone else on the Polk repeater with or without traffic? Now. Anybody on the Mansfield repeater? We don't know that it's up, but we check it anyways. Anybody on the 443.075 machine with or without traffic? Call now. All right, how about the Berlin Heights repeaters? Any of the three Berlin Heights repeaters? I like to always announce them. The VHF 146.805, the UHF 442.675, meter 53.29 repeaters. Anybody with or without traffic there, call now.
November 8, Queen Yankee Jim, Lawrence Township.
Kilo 8, Victor Charlie Echo, J in Fremont. November 8, Foxtrot Mike Juliet, Tom in Erie County.
N8XLQ, Lenny, Huron City. YouTube's up and running, boss. And good morning.
KE8 VOX, Scott in Vermillion Township. All right, nice group. I think we got everybody here. NAQQY, good morning, Jim. Nice signal from Florence Township. Good to hear you, Jim. K8 Victor Charlie Echo. Good morning, Jay. Up in Fremont. Nice signal, Jay. Thank you for checking in. N8FMJ. Good morning, Tom. Up in Sandusky. Nice signal, Tom. Nice to hear you this morning. N8XLQ. Good morning, Lenny. And good signal, Lenny. And Lenny says YouTube is up. Go in there, check check out your signal, see what it looks like. Lenny's got a nice setup there. So Lenny Rounds, N8XLQ YouTube channel, maybe. go take a look. It's really, really cool. Thanks, Lenny, for doing that. And we got Scott, KE8 Victor Oscar X-ray in Vermillion Township. Nice signal, Scott. Thank you for checking in.
68 Kilo Foxtrot, Claire Collins, no traffic, good morning, Jeff.
Without traffic, hold on.
Call now. Doubled.
Whiskey 8 Kilo Foxtrot, Claire Collins, no traffic, good morning, Jeff.
Hey, good morning, Claire. W8KF, Kilo Foxtrot in Collins. Nice signal, Claire. Thank you for checking in. Anybody else that either the three Berlin Heights repeaters, call now. Anybody on the Elyria UHF 443.9875 repeater, call now.
November 8, Papa Sierra. Good morning, Jeff.
I'm using that antenna in and out.
Kilo Bravo 8, Mike Victor, in Oberlin.
Put that thing on, it's not even a test.
Whiskey Oscar 1 Alpha, Hank in Johnson County. No traffic.
Nice group. Let's see here. November 8, Papa Sierra. Good morning, Rick. Nice signal from Parma, Ohio. Good to hear you this morning. Whiskey Oscar 1 Alpha. Good weather has been minor. So what's that mean? Well, radio blackouts reaching the R1 level did occur. They would occur on the sunlit side of the Earth at 8 o'clock this morning. Now, the space weather for the next 24 hours is predicted to be minor. Geomagnetic storms reaching the G1 level are likely. And that's geomagnetic storm. Good chance it's likely fine business, and thanks for the interesting report there this morning. Um, and so right now, let me take a look here. When we were talking about the MUF, or the maximum usable frequency, it's right now at 18.2 megahertz, which would be the 17-meter band. And you mentioned here are three beacons there, Madeira and Argentina and Peru on 17 meters, and that was at 8 o'clock this morning. So o'clock a.m. Thursday morning, May 25th. Oh, looks like a good two-thirds of the state are under marginal conditions, including over Lake Erie. And let's see, go on a little bit further. Yeah, it looks like noon on Friday, kind of the very northwestern part of Ohio, back into the central and southwestern parts of Indiana. You were looking at fair to moderate conditions, kind of a
8QQY.
Right, five business. I not heard the pipe pan telephone. Well, I've not heard that one before. So that's kind of new one on me. Yeah, that one's got me thinking, Bob. And yeah, thanks for the congrats during the grandson. We're just kind of waiting to see what call sign he gets assigned there. We've been watching the database here, so when that comes through, we'll get his call sign. And thanks for all that there, Bob. N8QQY. Jim, you got something? Go ahead.
Yeah, Jeff, when I was about 10, 11 years old, had a crystal set, and me and my brother had a set of bunk beds that we slept in. I wired up the bed springs, that crystal set, and used that for antenna.
Right. People have been doing it for a long time, it sounds like. Well, that's interesting. I bet your mom and dad loved that when you guys loaded up the bed springer in the bunk bed with the crystal set. I can just picture that. Do you remember, did you make any contacts or did you hear any stations?
It was just received, and I heard stations on it, but it was just a received crystal set.
Gotcha. Well, very neat, very cool. Yeah, again, a lot of fun. It's kind of a funny thing to see the different arrangements different people put together for antennas. Just about anything you can think of. Probably if it's got some metal to it, why you can get some RF into it and make it radiate for sure. But yeah, good story, Jim. Thank you. Anybody else want to chime in there on the I call them ugly antennas or unusual antennas? That's maybe a better way of putting it. Anybody else got any comments on that?
Any PPS comment?
Hi, Rick. NAPPS. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, instead of an ugly sweater contest, we should have an ugly antenna contest.
Well, you might be onto something there, Rick. You might be onto something. That's a interesting suggestion. Somebody should maybe mention that to have it put in QST or something. And you'd probably be surprised how many people get involved in it. It's fun doing stuff like that. And yeah, that's a good idea. We all know about the ugly sweaters. And I don't know why I always call it the ugly antenna thing, but I think they call it the unusual. Oh, I don't have it in front of me now, but I think they call it the unusual antenna, especially that. But nonetheless, good idea. Good idea, Rick. Well, put that one in QST and see what happens with it.
Yeah, it just sounded interesting, something to do. I'll be listening. I ain't PPS.
I like your idea. I think it might have some possibilities. I wanted to mention here real quick too about something I had mentioned. Oh, geez, this was back. Oh, I don't have a date in front of me here, but we had an event here in Tiffin where we had military people come to Tiffin University for a meeting before they were assigned to their locations overseas. And so we just received a certificate of appreciation. Matter of fact, I made it to our local Aries meeting last night. You heard me. We heard Dan mention there. I got to see Dan and a whole bunch of the other guys to check in here, which was really nice. But anyway, they handed out the certificates for people that participated. And it is a really nice certificate. It's signed by the president of Tiffin University along with the event coordinator. It's a beautiful certificate. What it says it's a certificate of appreciation. This was presented to me, my name and call sign. It says for the dedication and commitment of service for Ohio Army National Guard's 1st Battalion, 148th Infantry Regiment's call to duty ceremony at Tiffin University. Well, here's the date, September 20th, 2022. So that was back September of last year already. But morning, but if he is, a big to Owen for doing such a nice thing here for the hands here that were involved in that activity back in September. But just thought we'd share that with you guys. All right. WDREI, North Central Ohio Information and Traffic Net. I talked last week, I listed a piece of traffic last week to a gentleman in Michigan and about an article that he wrote about his fond memories of the first field days, like 50 years ago. It was a really neat article. Well, lo and behold, I sent that piece of traffic, and just the other day, he sent an email back to me, and he mentioned to me that the article in QST of the story that he wrote was edited quite a bit. A lot of it wasn't in his original story. So he sent me the original story. It was super, super cool. I really appreciated him doing that. Brought lots of fond memories back for me too. Matter of fact, he's just a couple years my senior, and we're talking 50 years ago doing field day. Lots of good memories. It was a great story. If you get a chance, check it out. I think it's in the latest issue of QST magazine under Greg Mulder, Whiskey Golf Golf. So Greg is out there listening. Why? Thanks for the response to my traffic that I sent there too. All right. Any other stations with or without traffic? Anybody like a signal report called out? All right, well, let's take a look at our Ohio section swap shop. Always lots of stuff up here. So there's some new stuff. I'm going to mention just the new stuff here, and I'll pick one big ticket item from some of the other postings, which have long lists of equipment. And so again, when you get a chance, if you're looking for anything, radios, antennas, anything like that, power supplies, you want to make sure you check out the Ohio section swap shop. So there's some nice stuff up here, so let's take a look. All right, first out, Whiskey Alpha 8, Echo Romeo Alpha, has a list of things here. He's got a Bird 43 watt meter with the case with 5 slugs, 100 to 250 megahertz, 10 watts. He's got 200 to 500 megahertz, 10 watt. He's got a 2 to 300 megahertz, 250 watt, and a 100 to 250 megahertz, 100 watt slug. Okay, and then he's got a 200 to 500 megahertz, 50 watt slug. I hope I listed those right. I'm just reading it right off here. He's got a dummy load, 35 watt, and he has an SWR chart. So all those items, he's asking $300 for those. He's got a frequency counter with a audio multiplier. It's a with a 12-volt wall-wart power supply, $50. He has a Monarch field strength meter, FS1-3. He's asking $10 for that. He has an APC 1500 UPS. Yeah, uninterruptible power supply. This works, but there's no battery. $25. He's got a Hustler collinear items here that I see. He's got a Cushcraft AF Star. It's just a tri-bander, 10, 15, and 20 meter beam. It's a Cushcraft, $750. And he's got a whole bunch more stuff on here that you'll want to take a look at. If you're interested, contact Pat at P. Robertson, the number 1, at neo.rr.com. He says cash or money order. Last but not least, I have here from Fremont, Ohio, Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Foxtrot Papa. He still has a used Icon 718 with a UT106 digital signal processor and an FL222 filter. And it comes with all kinds of other goodies. He's asking $575 for that, and he's got a whole bunch of other power supplies and some other items. So if you're interested, you can email him at Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Foxtrot Papa at hotmail.com. Now he'll meet you free if you're interested in Fremont at the Ohio Walmart, Fremont, Ohio at the Walmart, or in Rossford, Ohio at Target for delivery. No shipping available, he says, due to weight and size of boxes. All right, that's all we're going to list here this morning. There are more items that are up there, so definitely go out or you might even work a good deal. All right, before we continue, are there any other stations that would like to check in to the North Central Ohio information? Traffic net call now.
Sorry, Daisy.
All right, well, let's continue here. I wanted to mention just a little bit about just one of just a couple of things that we did when we went down to the Dayton Ham Fest. We went down on Friday, had a wonderful time, nice crowd, the weather was gorgeous, the food was great, they had some wonderful forums. I wish I could have hit every one of them, but there's just too many to do and so many things to do, and the time goes so quickly. But the one thing I did catch I thought was really interesting, we checked out the launching of what was called a Pico balloon. You ever wondered, if you ever wanted to do launch a balloon with a radio attached to it, maybe to track it, that sort of thing? There's a number of ways that could be done. A lot of times you read about the high altitude balloons that go, way up to the stratosphere, and then they pop and they take a picture and they come down. Those are really neat too. But the Pico balloons were super interesting, I thought, because they're like just a little birthday party balloon. Actually, you just fill them with helium, and they make a little lightweight board that has what they call a sky tracker, or it's really just the APRS or whisper transmitter, and with a little antenna attached, depending on what band you're operating on, by the way. And they actually launched. Well, we got to see them fill the balloon, which that was interesting in itself. It was interesting in itself because the amount of helium put in the little balloon is critical to the how long the balloon lasts before it might burst. If you put too much helium in, as they go higher and higher altitude, they begin to expand. And so they measure the amount of helium to make sure they get just the right amount of lift, but not too much helium that the balloon will pop early in its flight. So I watched them, and they weigh it with a little gram meter, and they got a little weight, and they have a little procedure they go through to 144.39 and 144.33. It was moving at 83 miles per hour. It had a heading of 128 degrees. It was at 38,102 feet. And then the other telemetry, and again, you can see this right at APRS 5. If you want to track the two balloons that were launched, Dayton Ambech and Pico balloons, by the way, they would be under Whiskey Bravo India. So if you just type in the tracking call sign Whiskey Bravo India dash star, it will list all the W8BI balloons and other APRS items. And you'll see the two balloons in there, so you can select them to look at the telemetry. Basically, this particular balloon that shows the voltage of the power supply at 3.28 volts. The temperature was 17 degrees Celsius. And it locked into one of 12 satellites that it was receiving. Probably the most important piece of information I forget to tell everybody was on the map. It looks like it's close to or northeast of one of the national forests in West Virginia, actually moving in towards Virginia. Monongahela National Forest. Probably not saying that right, but it's quite a distance northwest of Charlottesville. But again, yeah, if you're interested, just see the tracking of that balloon. You can go to APRS 5 and see that. Again, they actually sent two balloons up, one on Friday, and then I think they sent another one up on Saturday. And just looking at the one on Saturday, which was Whiskey Bravo India dash 12, it was actually well over Newfoundland when it was last picked up on APRS, which would have been May 21st. Guess that would have been what night? That would have been Sunday. And it was moving at 76 miles per hour. It had a heading of 43 degrees, and it was at, get this, the little balloon was at 35,346 feet. And you can see all the telemetry data there listed on the APRS map also. But anyway, what was neat was watching them fill a balloon, seeing what was the actual transmitting device and the little antenna. I mean, there's just not much to it. And it's extremely light. They're extremely light. And because they're so tiny and they're so light, there's no special restrictions as far as aviation goes. Somebody wrote where they could actually get sucked into a jet engine and they wouldn't even phase it. It wouldn't hurt anything. So there's no special laws, precautions, or anything like that that are necessary when you're launching a Pico balloon. The biggest drawback is your chances of getting your transmitter back are probably pretty slim. You know, if your balloon lands in the ocean or in a mountain somewhere. A couple guys mentioned they had some that landed in Afghanistan and places, some really remote places. So, and you can spend, those boards are, I think they're in the range of like $120, give or take. So you get a little money wrapped up into it for sure. And I guess it's the excitement, it's the learning experience. You can compare the price of doing a Pico launch to the price of doing a high altitude balloon launch, and they actually come out about the same when it gets to cost of the balloon, cost of your transmitting stuff, and what you can recover. The high altitude balloons, you can recover that equipment fairly easily because they come right back down pretty close to where they went up. But in the case of the Pico balloons, those are gone, they're gone rotating around the circumference of the Earth, so it's hard to say where those might end up. All right. Just want to share that experience. It couldn't possibly be, I probably didn't even come close to doing it justice. Bill Brown, Whiskey 8, Echo Lima Kilo, was the host of the forum for these balloons, and he's the one that actually launched this balloon. And Bill's an expert at these. He's been doing it for years. Somebody told me, and I think I seen an article where he actually, his first balloon launch was in Findlay, Ohio. He lives in, I think he lives in Alabama now. But he was here in Findlay, Ohio, and did a launch back in, it was like the earlier middle 80s with a TV camera, and some other equipment. And I guess it was quite successful. So Bill's been doing it for a long time. Super knowledgeable guy. I'm going to look into it. I'd love to try a balloon, see what happens. If I do, I'll let y'all know. Got some more interesting stuff. Before we continue, anybody else that would like to check in, any comments or queries, call out. All right. I'd like to leave a pause and let the repeater run just a little bit there. Got a really interesting story, article, and it's about the Titanic. It's so cool. I had to pass this along to you guys. At least I thought it was pretty cool. You talk about some history here. Listen to this story. When the Titanic hit an iceberg off the Atlantic in 1912, its telegraphers desperately sent out distress calls, hoping somebody somewhere might hear them. Oh, among the first to respond to the distress call from the Titanic back in 1912 was an amateur radio operator some 3,000 miles away. He was in South Wales. Now, I've never heard this story. Maybe some of you guys have, but this is the first time I ever heard of. Self-taught Arthur Moore received a signal at his homemade station in Blackwood, Capillary County. He rushed to the local police station. However, he was met with incredulity. I guess they were trusting what he was saying, it sounds like. As I go on here, keep in mind that they just recently took some full-size digital scans of the shipwreck, and the technology that it took to do that is really something. But I'll tie that kind of together towards the end of the article here. It goes on to say that while the radio enthusiast could do nothing to help those on board the Titanic, he went on to pioneer an early form of sonar technology, which helped discover its resting place decades later. Bizarre as that. So Artie, as he was known to locals, had already hit the headlines for his radio equipment a year before the Titanic sank. In 1911, before the sinking of the Titanic, he had intercepted the Italian government's declaration of war on Libya, a feat which saw him featured on the front page of British tabloid newspaper called the Daily Sketch. Born in 1887, Artie and his brother took over the running of a mill from their father and were entrepreneurs and pioneers. Lynn Pask, chair of the Blackwood History Society, said the brothers owned some of the earliest motor cars in the Gwent region, developed machines for local farmers, and gave the area its first access to electricity through charging batteries from the generator they'd created, powered by the mill's water wheel. Goes on to say, but Artie's love of engineering had come about through a tragedy after he lost a leg in an accident at the mill as a youngster. This only inspired him to his first invention, a counterbalance on his bicycle, which allowed him to ride by pushing down with his one good foot. The scale model of a steam locomotive from the lathe at the mill won a magazine competition. His prize was a book called Modern Views of Magnetism and Electricity, which sparked his interest in radio telegraphy. For the end here, amateur radio enthusiast Billy Cross, who now lives in London but originally hails from Lanchesant, said that at the time, Artie was looked at as something of an oddball. He strung up all these aerials made from the thin strands of copper wire from Gallagher's mill over the nearby river Sirhowy certainly the reaction of the Catholic police when in the early hours of April 15th, 1912, Artie pedaled to the station to report the Titanic's SOS calls. Behold, they said to have mocked him. Well, take a look. Just you get yourself back to bed now and don't bother yourself anymore. Though Mr. Pat said the outside South Wales, Artie was taken very seriously indeed. Soon enough, newspaper reports came through and they corroborated every single detail of what Artie had told the police, even down to the Titanic's use of the recently adopted SOS distress signal. Blackwood, he might have been thought of as black magic, but to those who knew and understood, wireless telegraphy was the internet of the day. Mr. Pat said Artie's brilliance was soon noticed by some highly important people. Among the highly important people, one of them was Guglielmo Marconi, a radio telegrapher inventor. He had originally predicted that radio signals could pass 2,000 miles, but Artie had received them over 3,000 miles. Within a year, this is great, within a year, Marconi had signed up the amateur to his wireless company. As Marconi's apprentice, he designed the first communications which could reach between Britain and the Falkland Islands during World War I. In World War II, he pioneered an early form of sonar, a technique that uses sound to navigate, measure distances, and communicate with objects in the water. This helped to guide Allied ships around German U-boats in the North Atlantic. And I'm almost done. Artie retired to Jamaica in 1947. However, shortly after, he developed leukemia, and he returned to Bristol treatment where he died a year later. In 1985, 73 years after his amateur radio picked up the passenger liner's calls for help, it was the sonar technology he pioneered that was used in discovering its final resting place on the Atlantic seabed. What an interesting story. I hope you guys enjoy that. I thought it was super cool. Any other stations who would like to check in with or without traffic for the North Central Ohio information, traffic net, or anybody that's got any other questions or comments, call now.
NAQQ want to comment?
Jim, the mic's yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, talking about Titanic, I seen a documentary on Drake, and Titanic had Drake radio equipment on it.
I never heard that one either. I'm learning all kinds of new stuff here today. I did not know that. That's interesting. You're saying Drake equipment was found on the Titanic. Okay. I didn't know. I wonder how far back the Drake company goes.
Don't know, but I sure wish it was still going.
Yeah, I hear you. Good radios, right? There were so many great radio manufacturers here in the United States that really manufactured some awesome equipment. Yeah, and Drake was probably one of them for sure. Interesting. I'll have to look that up. I did not know that. I'd never heard that, Joe. What else? You got anything else on it?
No, that's all I can remember was just a documentary about the Drake company, and it was used in the service, and it was, like I say, Titanic was equipped with Drake radios.
Right. Good information. Interesting information. Well, we'll have to keep up on that. What's happening with the Titanic? It's so cool that they were able to, do the high resolution photography of it and all that. I'm sure we'll hear more about it. There'll be more documentaries in upcoming future here, I'm sure. Thank you, Jim. Interesting. Anybody else? Right, sounds pretty quiet out there. Came across a really interesting, they're all interesting, right? I try to pick out something that sounds interesting to me, hopefully most of them do to you guys too. This was from the shortwave radio program. You guys hear me talk about shortwave radiogram. That's the name of an actual shortwave program that's broadcast over shortwave radio. And so they do it in a number of digital formats. In this particular week, I just used my FL Digi and used MFSK 16 and MFSK 32 and MFSK 64. And anyway, this is where this article came from. And it's pretty interesting. It has to do with just a recently launched device to measure ice on the moons of some of the distant planets. And to me, it's like the radio telegraphy that it would take to control these things. To me, is just absolutely amazing. But let me go over this with you guys. I think you'll find it interesting. The things that people run into, the scientists, the problems they have, and what they do to correct them is interesting sometimes. And sometimes kind of comical. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is about the JUICE radar, and it's about the JUICE radar antenna, and it's titled "The JUICE radar antenna breaks free after remote control thump." So the European Space Agency's JUICE Jupiter mission is back on track after mission control in Darmstadt, Germany managed to shake loose and deploy the stuck ice-penetrating radar for icy moon's exploration antenna that was stuck due to a tiny pin. DREI, just identify myself here. It's been a case of slow nail biting at the European Space Agency as its Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer mission to study the planet's moons in orbit Ganymede almost came to a premature end, just as its 8-year voyage to the giant planet had just begun. After what seemed like a flawless launch, just this April 14th is when this thing was launched, April 14th of this year, from the Guiana Space Center in French Guiana, the spacecraft entered its months-long commissioning phase, where its instruments would be deployed and put through the ringer to make sure they were ready to go to work. Then, the 52-foot Rime antenna jammed after only extending a third of the way and refusing to swing into the open position. Goes on to say the most likely culprit was a tiny pin that extended a few millimeters too far, holding the antenna in place. Not having a handy robotic arm aboard to give it a solid whack with a giant mallet, the engineers came up with an alternative. They rotated the spacecraft into the sunlight to heat it up, much like one might run a jam jar under a hot tap to loosen it. They then fired the thrusters in an effort to shake the antenna loose. It moved a bit, but not enough. Almost done, one paragraph. Then on May 12th, the team fired a non-explosive actuator that delivered a big enough mechanical shock to shift the pin and free the antenna, which swung dramatically away from the spacecraft and extended itself. A like the problems they run into out in space and what they have to do sometimes to get things corrected. And amazing, to think that that's all controlled by radio communications, right? With telemetry to control these various pieces of equipment. The one thing I wondered about was, because they gave it that shock with that non-explosive actuator, you wonder sometimes what else might have shaken loose inside inside the device that might maybe cause problems down the road. Who knows? But it was a gamble they were willing to take because, the main purpose of this particular device was to check icy moons and penetrate with radar the ice. So without that antenna, I guess it was a complete waste anyway. So they were willing to take the chance. They got it unlocked. Hopefully there weren't other issues caused. We'll have to wait and see. REI, North Central Ohio Information Traffic Net. I mentioned last week just a little bit. I just didn't have the information in front of me, so I'll cover it here real quick. For those of you that are interested in digital data, especially on the HF band, this might be of interest. Well, bandwidth limit would replace symbol rate limit for HF digital operations under a bill known as the Amateur Radio Com Improvement Act. The bill was introduced on May 11th by Arizona Congresswoman Debbie Lesko, a Republican, and is similar to a bill she had introduced last year, hoping to update rules by the FCC that focus on symbol rates. I think the symbol rate, it's like third bought on HF radio. Anyway, the bill, which is now in the House Committee on Energy and Commerce, would set a bandwidth limit of 2.8 kilohertz instead a bandwidth limit of 2.8 kilohertz instead. U.S. advocates of the bill, including the American Radio Relay League, have long argued that a bandwidth limit was necessary because of crowded conditions on the HF band. They have been concerned that protocols might be developed in the future that will possess wider bandwidth protocols than necessary. Lawmakers said in a statement that updating the rules to accommodate modern technology is especially important in times of natural disasters, such as forest fires, floods, hurricanes, when messages need to be sent and received efficiently. Faster protocols already accomplish this in other countries. Bottom line is, that data rate, we can make it better now with better and more efficient protocols, as long as, if this gets passed, by the way, as long as we don't exceed the bandwidth of 2.8 kilohertz. I guess the sky's the limit, right, on the throughput or the data rate, depending on how fancy the protocol might be, or the dilation scheme. Who knows, maybe you get 4 bits to a baud, or, you might be getting 9,600 bits per second of data throughput. And I think they are, probably maybe even higher than that. Again, the key is they had to put a limit on the bandwidth so that the data in the future, people are developing these higher bandwidth data modes, don't interfere with other hams that are trying to, work single sideband or CW. All right, anyway, it might be of interest to those that are operating HF digital modes. REI for ID. Well, we know this weekend, I think we got the big holiday weekend coming up for Memorial Day. Bob has mentioned a lot of the special event stations that there's going to be coming up here soon. And the one that I was always interested in getting, and I haven't gotten it yet, is the one on the Indianapolis 500. radio operators be a part of the racing season in Indianapolis. For 2 decades, they've logged over 15,000 contacts a year for the 3 race series at Indy. That's a lot of QSL cards. So check the W9 IMS page at QSL.com for more information. So keep an eye out for that one. That'll be a fun one. The Indianapolis 500 special event station looks like it's already going on. Mention the shortwave radiogram program. I'm going to mention it again. Don't forget to just Google shortwave radiogram. It's a lot of fun. It's really interesting. They did some neat things a couple weeks ago with a different program. It required downloading a special piece of software. Nothing difficult. I did it and was able to decode the whole digital program in a different format called EZBRF, and it was beautiful. The images were beautiful. The text was perfect. Open in my web browser. All of that coming from the HF shortwave broadcast. So this is really fun, and it's just another fun thing to do with your radio. So Google it sometime. Shortwave radiogram. Get their latest schedule. With the newest one, usually Thursday evening will be the latest, newest schedule. And they start broadcasting Thursday evenings. I think it's somewhere around 7:30 or 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then it runs right on around until Tuesday. And the schedule's all listed. The frequencies are all listed. Gives all the information. It's a lot of fun. It's simple to do. If you want to try something different, just receiving with your radio, check it out. Shortwave radiogram. You can decode it just using FL-Digi. It's a simple setup, just a speaker connection to your HF radio, and type that into either the line input or the microphone input of your sound card, and play around with it. You'll be all set. It's a lot of fun. All right. Also, WBAREI for ID, the National Hurricane Center's amateur radio station annual test coming up Saturday. That's this weekend, May 27th. That'll be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Well, the event's a good practice for amateur radio operators worldwide to practice amateur radio communications during times of severe weather. Now, the National Hurricane Center, they're going to be on board along with the National Hurricane Watch Net, and they're going to be on HF frequencies. You can find them at the article at the ARRL's website. This article on the National Hurricane Center's amateur radio annual test. Now, here at Tiffin, here at Seneca County, we're going to link up tomorrow, Saturday, with the Echolink Weather Talk conference server. So we'll be able to work the National Hurricane Center on 2 meters on 146.45 simplex. So if you're in our area, if you happen to be in our area of Tiffin here, and you'd like to listen and maybe work the National Hurricane Center and a bunch of the other National Weather Service offices, we will be linked up beginning Saturday morning at the beginning of the event, which is 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll stay linked up until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 146.45 simplex. You need to encode a PL tone of 107.2. Now, QSL cards are available via the WD4R with a self-addressed stamped envelope. Time to wrap it up here. 2 things I want to mention before we close. ICOM 7300. You know what a nice rig that is. Between now and next week, if you get a chance, Google service manual. Make sure it's a service manual for the ICOM 7300. See if you can find that. You got it handy. You glance through it, take a look at it. We won't delve super deep in it, but we will take a look at, I thought, we'll look at strictly the, maybe, at least at first, the PA board, the power amplifier board, where all the, the 100 watts is generated. That's a pretty straightforward thing to look at. So again, Google the ICOM 7300 service manual. Take a look at the block diagrams and the schematic diagrams on the PA board, the RF power amplifier board. And that's what we'll begin talking about on our next Wednesday. Again, we try to kind of keep it simple, but we can get as in-depth as anybody wants to. Hopefully the idea is that we learn a little bit. A lot of you guys are really new at looking at a diagram, a schematic diagram. Take a look. This is a full-blown high-tech radio, full-blown service manual. Just glance through it, see if you identify any schematic symbols. Again, we're specifically looking at the PA board, the RF power amplifier board. You'll see that it contains a number of schematics. It's a complex radio with a lot of parts to it. And so we're going to look at, again, the RFPA, which is where we'll concentrate at first. There's some nice block diagrams on that. It has a brief technical explanation. The service manual for the ICOM 7300 has a nice diagram of the actual board layout, how you assemble and disassemble the boards from the radio, and it has wonderful pictorials of the actual printed circuit boards so that you can actually see the physical components and match them up with the component identification on the schematic diagram, so you can start to kind of put things together a little bit. So again, take a look, ICOM 7300 service manual, Google it, get it, and we'll look at it next week, and then in the future weeks, we'll learn something, we'll have a little bit of fun. REI for ID. And last but not least, this weekend, I mean, there's so many things going on with the holiday and everything, but CQ Worldwide World Prefix Contest will be going on May 27th through the 28th. It begins Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It runs until Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, even if you're not a big-time CW operator, if you're learning CW or you want to brush up on your skills a little bit, if nothing else, listen into the contest exchanges. They're usually pretty brief, and they're quick, and they're brief. And so, you can practice picking out call signs, picking out the exchange. Go look at the rules to find out what the actual exchange is at CQ Worldwide's website, and it'll give you all the rules to contest. It's a big one. And again, that's this weekend, May 27th and 28th. It'll begin Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and again, it'll run until Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's enough for tonight, for this afternoon. Anybody got any questions? Anybody want to make any announcements? Anybody got any complaints? Anything? Call now. All right, sounds pretty quiet. Probably hypnotized everybody. Everybody's
N8XLQ, clear. QRT.